Because I'm in your blind spot. Because I'm in your blind spot. Because I'm in your blind spot.
Could you tell me what he said? Because I am in your blind spot. Let's suppose someone feels unnoticed or ignored, maybe emotionally, professionally, or even literally while driving, and they say, because I am in your blind spot. Or you never realize how I feel, because I'm in your blind spot. Means you can't see me or notice me because I'm in a place outside your awareness. The phrase blind spot originally refers to the small area that a driver cannot see through their mirrors. Figuratively, it means an area in someone's understanding, attention, or perception where they fail to notice something or someone important.
You ducked your donut, you ducked your donut, you ducked your donut.
Could you tell me what he said? You ducked her donut. Let's suppose someone offers you something, like food, a gift, or even affection, and you deliberately avoid it. Someone might teasingly say, you ducked her donut. It means you avoided or rejected what she offered. Here, duck means to dodge or avoid something, and her donut symbolizes her small, sweet offer, something nice or kind she gave or did. So this phrase playfully points out that you avoided her offer, gesture, or attention.
I humped her brains out there! I humped her brains out there! I humped her brains out there!
Could you tell me what he said? I hooked her brains out there. Let's suppose someone says, hooked her brains, about a moment when they spoke, performed, or acted in a way that completely grabbed her attention or won her over. It means completely captivated or impressed her. Depending on context, this is slangy and rough. Figuratively, it praises how powerful the effect was. Taken literally, the wording sounds violent and would be dangerous or unacceptable, so avoid literal interpretations and use a clearer phrase when you mean impressed or won her over.
Back it up! Back it up! Back it up!
Could you tell me what he said? Back it up. Let's suppose someone is moving too close, making a bold claim, or even parking a car, and you say, back it up. It means move backward in a physical sense, but figuratively, it can mean slow down, step back, or support what you just said with proof. In conversation, back it up often challenges someone to prove their words. You say you can do it? Back it up. While in daily life, it can also be a simple command to move something or someone backward.
The son of a bitch pulled it off! The son of a bitch pulled it off! The son of a bitch pulled it off!
Could you tell me what he said? The son of a pulled it off. Let's suppose someone doubts another person's ability to succeed. Maybe they think, no way he can do it. But then that person actually does succeed. Out of surprise or grudging respect, someone might exclaim, the son of a pulled it off. It means that guy surprisingly succeeded or managed to do it. He actually did it. He succeeded at something we didn't expect. The phrase pulled it off means to accomplish something difficult or unexpected, while the son of a is an emotional or half-censored way of showing shock, frustration, or admiration.
Has the cat got your tongue? Cat got your tongue? Cat got your tongue?
Could you tell me what she said? Cat got your tongue? Let's suppose someone suddenly goes quiet. Maybe they look shocked, embarrassed, or unsure what to say, and you teasingly ask, cat got your tongue? It means why are you silent, or why aren't you saying anything? This phrase is often used humorously or playfully when someone who's usually talkative becomes speechless. The cat part is just a funny, old-fashioned image. It doesn't literally mean a cat took someone's tongue.
He's like a freaking mind grenade. He's like a freaking mind grenade. He's like a freaking mind grenade.
Could you tell me what he said? He is like a freaking mind grenade. Let's suppose someone suddenly says or does things that completely shock people. Maybe he drops surprising ideas, clever jokes, or wild thoughts that blow everyone's mind. You might say, he's like a freaking mind grenade. It means he's explosive with ideas or surprises that hit hard and make people think. He's unpredictable, shocking, or explosively clever. His thoughts hit hard. The phrase compares his mind to a grenade, something that explodes suddenly and powerfully. Adding freaking just gives emotional emphasis or amazement.
You gobble up all of life's energies. You gobble up all of life's energies. You gobble up all of life's energies.
Could you tell me what he said? You goggle up all of life energies. Let's suppose someone is so self-centered or intense that they seem to drain everyone's energy or attention around them. You might say, you goggle up all of life energies. It means you absorb or consume everyone's energy, leaving nothing for others. Here, goggle up is figurative. It combines gobble up, to eat or consume greedily, with the idea of someone devouring or soaking up energy, enthusiasm, or positivity from their surroundings.
Things can get a little dicey. Things can get a little dicey. Things can get a little dicey.
Could you tell me what he said? Things can get a little dicey. Let's suppose you're planning something, maybe a trip, a business deal, or even a conversation, and someone warns you, be careful, things can get a little dicey. It means things could become risky, uncertain, or complicated. The word dicey comes from dice, which involves chance or luck. So when someone says something is dicey, they mean it's unpredictable, it might go well or might go wrong. Oh.
Works like a charm. Works like a charm. Works like a charm.
Could you tell me what she said? Works like a charm. Let's suppose you try something, maybe a trick, a solution, or a quick fix, and it surprisingly succeeds perfectly. You might smile and say, it works like a charm. It means it works perfectly or produces excellent results. The phrase comes from the idea that a charm, like a magic spell or lucky object, brings good results. So when something works like a charm, it performs so smoothly it almost feels magical.
Get your fucking hands off me!
Get your hands off my Jordans!
Get your fucking hands off me!
Could you tell me what he said? Get your hands off my joints. Let's suppose someone is about to touch, take, or interfere with something that belongs to you, and you shout, hands off. It means, do not touch or interfere with this. This phrase is commonly used to set a firm boundary, whether about personal space, belongings, or even situations. It's short, direct, and often forceful.
Stay out of my face! Stay out of my face! Stay out of my face!
Could you tell me what he said? Stay out of my face. Let's suppose someone is getting too close, being annoying, or confronting you aggressively, and you say, stay out of my face. It means stop bothering me and keep your distance. This phrase is informal and slightly aggressive. It's used to firmly tell someone to stop bothering you and to assert your personal space.
Getting a little touchy. Getting a little touchy. Getting a little touchy.
Could you tell me what he said? Getting a little touchy. Let's suppose someone starts reacting sensitively, easily annoyed, or defensive, maybe over small comments or actions, and you say, he's getting a little touchy. It means becoming easily irritated or oversensitive. The phrase is informal and often used to describe someone who might overreact emotionally to minor issues. It's a gentle way to notice mood changes without being too harsh.
See eye to eye. See eye to eye. See eye to eye.
Could you tell me what he said? See eye to eye. Let's suppose two people are discussing something, maybe a plan, idea, or opinion, and they agree completely with each other. You might say, they see eye to eye. Or I don't always see eye to eye with my boss, but we respect each other's views. It means to agree fully or have the same opinion. The phrase is often used in conversations about work, relationships, or negotiations, emphasizing mutual understanding and agreement.
You are so out of line. You are so out of line. You are so out of line.
Could you tell me what he said? You are so out of line. Let's suppose someone says or does something inappropriate, disrespectful, or beyond acceptable limits, and you say, you are so out of line. It means you are behaving in a way that is unacceptable or improper. The phrase is often used to call someone out for crossing boundaries, breaking rules, or being rude. Tone can be serious, firm, or angry depending on the situation.
Take your time.
Take your time.
Take your time.
Take your time.
Could you tell me what he said? Take your time. Let's suppose someone is rushing to finish a task, make a decision, or respond to a question, and you say, take your time. It means, don't hurry, do it at your own pace. The phrase is polite and reassuring. It encourages patience and shows that there's no need to rush, allowing the person to act carefully or thoughtfully.
Up to the plate.
Up to the plate and
Up to the plate. Up to the plate.
Could you tell me what she said? Set up to the plate. Let's suppose someone is about to face a challenge, responsibility, or important task and you say, set up to the plate. It means prepare yourself to take action or face a challenge. The phrase comes from baseball, where a batter stands at the plate ready to hit the ball. Figuratively, it encourages someone to be ready, take responsibility, or step up when needed.
Okay, I am totally not crabby.
You're totally crabby.
Okay, I am totally not crabby.
You're totally crabby.
Okay, I am totally not crabby.
You're totally crabby.
Could you tell me what she said? You are totally crabby. Let's suppose someone is in a bad mood, irritated, or easily annoyed, and you say, you are totally crabby. It means you are grumpy, irritable, or in a bad temper. The phrase is informal and often used to describe temporary moods rather than a permanent personality trait. Crabby conveys mild annoyance in a casual, sometimes playful way.
Boys are so gross. Boys are so gross. Boys are so gross.
Could you tell me what she said? Boys are so gross. Let's suppose someone is reacting to boys' behavior. Maybe they're messy, silly, or doing something unpleasant, and they say, boys are so gross. It means boys are messy, dirty, or behave in ways that are unpleasant. The phrase is informal and often used humorously or in a lighthearted way to express mild disgust or frustration with typical behaviors.
It's friggin' hot there, bro. It's friggin' hot there, bro. It's friggin' hot there, bro.
Could you tell me what he said? It's frigging hot there, bro. Let's suppose someone is describing the weather or temperature in a place, maybe it's unbearably hot, and they say, it's frigging hot there, bro. It means it's extremely hot there. The word frigging is informal slang used to emphasize intensity, similar to very or really, and bro is a casual way to address someone, usually a friend. The overall tone is casual and expressive. If this video has taught you something new, please like and subscribe.